I had very, very few interactions with Dominic Noonan. Early in my prison career, 2005, 2006, and then 2015. That's it. Brief encounters. I learnt a lot off the first one. I was visits runner, which means I was working on visits overtime and I was picking prisoners up from around the jail and bringing them to the visits hall. I picked him up from the segregation unit, walked him over to visits, picked him up after, walked him back. No conversation. He's not talking to me. I'm a humble screw. I'm the lowest of low. He is communicating with senior officers. That'd be my manager, principal officer, above the senior officer, over prison governor. Look at me, look who I am. Demanding respect. The vast majority of people of Noonan status, you know, top of the game, well-known criminals, fighters, maybe gang leaders, gang members, whoever, whatever I came across, commanded respect. Go and look at the difference. Demanding and commanding respect. I met a lot of very humble people. If people hadn't pointed out who they were, I want to know. They weren't look at me, he was. I tell you something though. Yeah? In the seg, come to pick up Noonan, they got him out. Couple of meters, not a good feeling. Instantly disliked him, instantly. We've all had that gut feeling, haven't we? Something very, very wrong. And that was it. That's my first contact, 2006. However, 2008, just before I left K-Wing, that was my place of work, to go and work on the healthcare. We had a lad come in, I remember his name now, I remember his face, I remember his actions. One of them really makes me quite sad. His first day on K-Wing, we restrained him 3 times. It was unavoidable. You know, I'm not talking about beating somebody up now, I'm talking about somebody whose behaviour, you know, is outrageous. You get to a point where there's nothing you can do other than restrain them. The end of that shift, one of the lads who commanded respect, you know, a main man in Salford, he was a wing cleaner, very humble, came over. Mr. Samworth, can I have a word in your shell, like? He says, go easy on that lad. Him and his mate, as young lads. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? He mentioned Noonan's name. Looking at the lad now, quite definitely had possibly the worst childhood. I would see that lad up until I left many times. He was ridiculed by staff and prisoners alike. Me, I saw a different person. Very sad. Very sad. Anyway, 2015, March 2015, workforce modernisation and benchmarking had hit Strangeways. Basically, that's cost cutting and staff cutting. It had been going through the prison service for 2 years with severe consequences. Prison service gone to rat shit. Strangeways was rat shit. I was working on the healthcare. The previous day, I'd been visits runner. E-wing outer, I'd been over there and I'd picked up Noonan. So that's my second dealing with him. Yeah, again, I knew a bit more about him now. That arrogance, air of invincibility still there. Walked him over to visits. Now in visits, at that time, was an officer who was a horrible, horrible bastard. A bully. Yeah, well known, hated. A lot of cons you know, contacted me. Do you remember him? I'm not going to mention his name, but he was a dog, a bully, on his own, a weak individual. But when someone were down, you know, pack mentality, he'd be sticking boot in, kicking someone in the head. Noonan spoke with him, they had a connection. Old school screw, been around a long time. Noonan been in the early days. They had a conversation that said a lot about both of them. You know, me, I'm not wanting to speak to either of them. Me, I disliked him. And like I said, I've only had 2 brief interactions, but I remember the lad on K-Wing who were restrained. Very sad. The following day, I'm on healthcare. Yeah, it's coming towards the end of the shift, coming towards tea time. On the radio, my arse instantly twitching. All available outstations to E-Wing Outer. That's where I'd picked Noonan up from the previous day. All available outstations. That's serious. That's serious. So off we goes. 4 of us on the healthcare. Tootling down there. One of the lads is off. Like Billy Whiz. Whoa. Voice of reason. I'm a lot older. Slow down. You don't know what we're going into. A short jog. Down to E-Wing. Up 3 flights of stairs. Onto the wing. Boom. Atmosphere. Noonan's on a pool table. Shouting, riling, or as it were, bringing the troops together, shall we just say. I was lost for words then. I can see him now though. Yeah. There's about a dozen feral youths around the pool table. Like baying animals. Yeah. There's a dozen screws on the landing, including myself, up for it. The rest of the cons and the other 30 odd staff, not so much. They're waiting to see what happens. Why is he on the pool table? There's a lad on the landing above dying. Staff had tried to get him behind the doors, OD'd on spice. What a awful, horrible drug. But he's died. The medical staff, paramedics, and our own medical staff have got him breathing on that landing, and this says a lot about the prison service at that time. There's about 4 or 5 managers, senior officers. They didn't need to be there. They got medical staff there. Our senior officer from the healthcare went up there. You know, stand around up there, backs to what's happening downstairs, hoping it's going to go away. A governor come on. It was de-escalated. All the lads put behind the doors. Noonan was then removed to the segregation. That was his moment as he come out. Lads behind the doors. Go on, Dom. Make 'em have it, Dom. You know, that air of arrogance, invincibility was there. And that's it in prison. I won't see him again. However, if you don't know who he is, go and have a look. Go and have a look what he's in prison now for. But let me tell you another little story one of my mates recounted. He worked for a haulage company. The fellow was an amazing guy, worked hard. Noonan turned up one day with his boys and starts putting posters up. Signs, Noonan Security. I work for you now. Yeah, this guy don't know what to do. A wagon pulls up. There's a guy in that wagon. Not somebody from criminal element, not somebody who's been a gangster, not somebody who's ever been to prison. Just a normal working lad. But tough fucker. Well known, reputation as a fighter. Not causing trouble, but finishing it. Straight up to Noonan, took him off his feet, told him in no uncertain terms if he saw him around there again, what he'd do to him. Guess what? Noonan Security retreated. See, we always hear these stories about some of these individuals, you know, well, stories get enhanced, don't they? They become sort of legends and figures like that. Me, now, again, thinking about that lad on K-Wing, I know his name, I'll never forget it. You know, like I said, he was coming in and out of prison for years till I left. Wrecked, ruined. I don't even want to imagine what happened to him. Just gonna leave it there, guys. I'm going to do and feature some really humble men. People at the top of the game who came into prison. No air of invincibility, no look at who I am. Just humble, got on with it. Like I say, if people hadn't pointed out to me who they were, I wouldn't have known. Thanks for your continued support. If you want to become a channel member and support the channel, that'd be very much appreciated. God bless you all. Thanks for coming. I'll see it.